Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 19 of the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. 19, that is my best friend's lucky number. So if she ever listens to this one is for her. So my name is Nina Adio, and I'd like to thank you for allowing this podcast into your earbuds, your Bluetooth, your car radio, wherever you are listening from. On the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast, I discuss tips and tricks for wedding pros to DIY their social media or to gain the confidence to outsource it. Last week, I talked about Instagram analytics and what I look for when I review those stats. So, if that's something you're interested in, I would go back and listen to episode 18. But today, I'm going to be talking about what questions to ask yourself before you make your post or content calendar for social media. Now, before we get into that, I want to tell you a little funny story. I was stopping at my local supermarket, and a food truck was there. It was a donut and coffee truck. So I was just tickled about this. My brother actually frequents this truck, and now it was my turn to get the donuts. And they just had this awesome vintage lettering on the truck, and so I had to take a photo of my donuts with the vintage lettering, and of course the donut fell. One of them fell, not all of them. So I felt like an idiot. I felt like a stereotypical Instagrammer. But I just explained to the guy that I love Instagram, and he said how for his business, which is, creating these, truck made homemade donuts and coffee, that Instagram and social media has been his biggest source of referrals, of income, of customers, and that he believed in the process. So I was able to feel a little less embarrassed about it, but I still do feel embarrassed about it. I did post the photo on my profile just to say, like, hey, you had to replace my donut, but at least I'm posting the picture. It wasn't for nothing. So now for today's topic, I want to go into a bit of a customer journey. And for this process, I'm going to do the perspective of a wedding venue as our example and the things that we want to be answering for our customer when we're posting. Okay, so what questions are we asking ourselves before we make posts? And the first one is, what does my customer need? Okay. So as you're thinking about this, you'll think about the type of venue you are too. So my customer needs a high-end venue experience that is local to where they are, to where they live, that feels like New York City, but is right in Long Island or wherever you're located. They are looking for something that has great food that will leave their guests, talking about it more than anything else. Those features about your customer. What do they need? Think about their journey and their pain points. Okay. So maybe they need planning at a venue that is seamless. They need to be taken care of at their venue, and just write these things out because these are going to kind of be your key words as you're creating content. So maybe if you were a florist, you would be saying they need somebody, or an invitation designer, even they need somebody who can make what they're thinking in their head come to life, things like that. So write these ideas down, circle the words that resonate with you. Think about what is it that they need, or maybe they just need an available date, right? They need a venue with availability. They need a venue that's flexible. What do they need? And then the next question is, what do I want to show them? So you want to show them a lot of these answers that we were doing. We want to show them that we have restaurant style food. We want to show them that we have views that are unparalleled. We want to show them that we have flexibility to work with them. We want to show them that, and just start brainstorming these ideas. Maybe you want to show them that your creativity is what sets you apart, right? This is for more of a, if, like the invitations florist. Maybe you want to show them that you're trustworthy, you're reputable. What do you want to show your audience? And the next question to ask kind of really weaves into that, which is how do I benefit my customer? Okay, I have years of experience. We have a whole professional team at our venue who can meet all of your needs, who know the venue inside and out, who know the industry, who know your timeline. We're then going to be there to support you. Uh, I have creative designs that nobody else can do. We have access to things that nobody else has. We create an experience that's one of a kind. All right. How do you benefit your customer? Because that's what they're going to want to be learning. That's what's going to hook them, is seeing what you can do for them. And that's the last question of what end result do my customers need? What's the end result of what they want to see? And that is, okay, you're going to have an unforgettable wedding. Your guests are going to be talking about your wedding. I love that one because people really do get concerned about the guest experience. So your guests are going to have a level of service like they've never seen before. My guests still haven't stopped talking about my wedding. That sort of idea. What else do your customers need? Your customers need somebody who's easy to get in touch with, who's receptive, who answers messages, things like that. So explore and answer these questions. I'm going to say them again. Okay, so it's, what does my customer need? What do I want to show them? How do I benefit my customer? And what end result do my customers need? Okay, so that's a little different than the initial need, because the initial need is the search for the venue. The end result is the perfect wedding experience. So that's why those two sound kind of similar, but they are a little different. And this is, a pretty short and straightforward episode. I mean, I could have further analyzed each of these, but I think it's pretty straightforward. And sometimes it's okay not to overthink things further, not to make this a 20-minute episode just because I could, when really I can get this to you in 10 minutes. So, what I would do is I would either open up a Word document or take out a piece of paper and start answering these questions. And then I just save the phrases, the answers, the inspiration that I come up with. And when I'm creating content, I have all that inspiration out there and right there. So you'll be looking at that Word document and you'll be seeing that it says things like a one of a kind wedding experience, unparalleled food and service, and so forth. What will these posts look like? Now, for you and for everybody, that's going to be different. Obviously, there are some really straightforward examples. If you're talking about food, a photo of the food is great, right? Especially like if you're talking about restaurant quality food, then you should have photos of your reception sit down dishes. That's really important to have. Even if you're not posting it on social media, it's important to show your clients when you're selling, because they're not going to have access to that. They're not going to get to see that unless they're attending a wedding of yours or you're doing a tasting. So having those photos is really important. A lot of this is going to really live in your captions. You could make text posts about it. So, what I mean by that are graphics with text across from it. But I think it really lives nicely in your captions on Facebook, on Instagram. You certainly could do some more text graphics about it. That's something you can experiment with. I prefer to do, if I'm doing a text graphic, these can live really nicely when you're showcasing reviews. So those are really nice. And I think go even further because you're taking the testimonial from somebody who's walked through the process. Okay, so maybe that answers a customer need. They need to know that somebody has walked through this process and have gotten the desired result. So that's why showing reviews to showcase these items will be really great too. And when you get really clear on your customer needs, and on your benefits and on what you want to show your customer, that will help you to better select what reviews and testimonials you want to highlight. To summarize this, what I really want to say, and I think what I'm trying to say, is the more clear you get on what your customer is looking for and who they are and what you offer to them, the easier it is for them to find you and for you to be able to identify them. The more you speak to them, the easier it's going to be for them to find you, the easier it's going to be for them to trust you. And that whole sales funnel and process is just going to be so much more streamlined because you've taken out a lot of the guesswork, a lot of the questioning, a lot of the FAQ, and you've answered everything for them. So if you end up doing this exercise and writing out these as a brainstorm, be sure to send me a message and let me know how it goes. I'm really curious to see what you came up with. And if you enjoyed hearing this today, please consider leaving an Apple Podcast review. This not only means a lot to me, but it helps more people to find this podcast. New episodes of this podcast drop every Wednesday, and I'm also live on Instagram every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern on I Do Wedding Marketing. That's my profile. So you can learn more about my services and inquire about working together at www.idoweddingmarketing.com. I thank you so much for being here, and until next week.